Hello and welcome back to the channel. Back to 2d6 Dungeon. We have completed the rest period on the steps and are about to enter level 8 of the dungeon, the Monster Maze. 2d6 Dungeon was created by Toby Lancaster. His link is in the description as usual. We have healed up a bit, not quite to full health. I did use one of our health paste usages, so we're down to 5 uses left. And then we're out of potions. There's a few things for level 8 that are a little bit different than other levels. First off, we have new rules for level 8. Level 8, being the Monster Maze, has smaller rooms and more corridors, as if the dice don't give us enough of those already. When exploring level 8, deduct 2 from both dice. So for example, if you roll 4 and a 4, then the modified result is 2 and 2. 1 is the lowest number it can be modified to, so a 3 and a 2 is rolled and modified result would be 1 and 1. This will result in more corridors and small rooms. Do not deduct 2 from the dice when rolling a second time after rolling doubles on the first roll. You guys don't see me rolling all the dice for building the room shapes, but this will kind of give you a clue. We are going to have lots of corridors. Large rooms on level 8 are dealt with differently. You do not roll on a large room table. Instead, you calculate the exits and then break up the inside of the large room into little corridors to make it a maze. And then there is a maze objects table to roll on. And last, something that we won't ever do, we are level 10, we are the monster in the maze. Fleeing from monsters on level 8. On this level, and only this level, you can flee a monster due to the fact that they are self-contained within their own room sequence. They also do not alert the hierarchy of the dungeon to your presence, trapped as they are in the depths of the dungeon. To flee from a monster, you leave the combat and the room during your round without hitting the monster. There's a whole bunch more details on what to do, but like I said, who runs from combat? Not us. Alright. Let's take a look here at our dungeon. It's roughly the same size as the previous dungeon floor. We have a little bit smaller room to start with, and I'm thinking it's a maze. We're gonna go straight up the middle, circle around clockwise, come back through the main end, and then circle up this way. We'll step on up to this archway and find out what's beyond. Entering through the archway, we find our first room to be a large room. As we're navigating through the maze, trying to find our way out, we do find towards the middle, hanging on a hook at the center, is a cloak, and on it, a piece of golden jewelry worth 3d6 gold pieces. That's 7 gold pieces. I think we'll leave the cloak hanging. We're not much of a cloak wearer. We'll take the jewelry, put it on our sheet here, and then continue through the maze, find our way through to this archway, find out what's beyond here. Well, passing through this archway, we find the dice don't like being called cursed, and we have another large maze room. This one has 2 exits, and we're going to continue straight, as straight as the maze will allow us. In this particular large maze room, we have on one wall is a sconce with a lit torch. Ash litters the floor, and that is all. We could take the torch if we want. We'll just leave the torch here, continue on this way through this maze, and see what's... So we're gonna step through this archway, and as you know, when I run into a corridor, I just kind of make the next room. The maze obviously is a lot of corridors, and also when I run into a room series, I build out the whole series in order to just do room after room after room. So this was a long break in my recording. Step through that archway, what we find is a little 1x1 corridor, followed by a 1x6 corridor, Now we enter into a room that we get chilled. This room has 3 exits to it. It is cold stone. The walls here appear to have frost on them. There is a magical source of cool air funneling in. If you do not have anything to wrap yourself in, lose 4 HP. Then roll on the trapped table. So yeah, I left that cloak behind, and I don't have anything to wrap myself in, so we're taking some damage. Will bring us down to 89 health, and for our trap, portcullis slam down and to shatter the doors and fill the doorways in this room. Great. Now we have portcullises locking us into the cold room. With portcullises, we have to see if we can find a lever to get that open. One fell out. We have an 8. Inside a hole in the wall is a switch. You press it and all portcullises clatter up to the ceiling. Nice. So all of these open up. And now we're free to continue through this archway, which is another corridor. There's 2 exits. We continue straight though, and we come into another corridor, and we continue around this way. 1 exit here, through that archway, into a little corridor, through that archway, into another corridor with 2 exits. We continue straight though, and this one is another little corridor. We pass through that into a 1x1 corridor and into the next room, the ice bridge. An ice bridge spans a pit here. It's not deep, but is lined with short spikes. You must cross to proceed and roll 2d6 and add your shift. 10 or below, you slip and your foot dangles, catching a spike. Lose 5 HP. 2d6 plus our shift of 4. That's going to be a 9. We are going to take more damage from slipping on the ice, bringing us to 84 health. Finish crossing that bridge. We step through an archway here into the 3rd room in the series. What we have is an icicle cave. Dripping water has formed icicles, making it feel cave-like. A frozen warrior stands in the center. It comes alive. Use Terra Magna stats. If you survive, you spot 2 bags. Roll on a bag table twice. Let's get this frozen Terra Magna up. This frozen warrior is a Terra Magna. They are sent out by the keeper. Terra Magna scout out creatures for the menagerie. They are experienced trackers and worthy fighters. When they find their prey, they return and seek out the Pentamer. For maneuvers, they have a Morningstar Bash and a Sidekick. The Morningstar Bash is a 1/4, which will be not blocked by anything until after our Shroud Curse takes effect. Then our leather breastplate will cover that. The Sidekick is a 3/5, which will be blocked by either the Banded Shield or Metal Bracer. Either subtracts 2 for a D3 plus 1. Their interrupts are Plate Armor on primary 1s, 4s, and 6s minus 3, and that will only affect our Ferocious Strike. Top around 1 our turn with a 3/5. 4 shifts, 3/5, we can make a Ferocious Strike. We can also make a Twisting Stab. Twisting Stab will only use 3 shifts, and we won't have any reduction from the interrupts. So 1 shift there, 2 shifts there, 2d6 plus 7, 18 points of damage. That will bring them down to 12 right away. Frozen Terra Magna's turn. We have a 4/5, 2 shifts. It only takes 1 shift to create a Sidekick. So that will be D3 plus 1. 2 damage total. Brings us to 82, but then we heal 1 back with our healing aura. 83. Top round 2 our turn. We have a 3-5 again. We can do the same thing. 1 shift to a 2 and 2 shifts to a 3 to create another twisting stab. 17 points of damage. That will destroy the frozen Terra Magna. We do gain 450 experience points, and I know you're thinking, we're already level 10, why keep tracking experience? And the reason for that is experience points beyond level 10. Keep adding your awarded experience points as you defeat creatures and complete tasks, even if you are level 10. In the legendary dungeon expansion, the function of these extra experience points will be made clear. I don't have the legendary dungeon expansion yet, but we will go there eventually, so we will continue to track as it suggests. Or we'll get the experience added to our total. I'm just going to do that behind the card. I'm not going to keep reading it out every single time like I had been. You'll see it when we get there. They do have a pouch table 2 plus 1. We have 8 tucked inside. There's a lockpick plus 2 uses, and some Malacco leaves. Alright, we'll add to our pile of Malacco leaves and our lockpick plus 2s. We have 8 uses of now. And then put that back away. The Terra Magna is all done. We put her away. We do have the 2 bags to search on. Bag table 2 plus 2 twice. So the first bag has 10. You peer inside the leather bag and see 3 goblets worth 56 plus 20 silver, a throwing dart, and a potion. Roll on the potion table. Let's get our 3 goblets first. I think that's a total amount for the goblets, not individual. 21 gold, or 41 silver pieces for those. Brings us up to 3 throwing darts. And then a potion. That is a potion of healing. Potion of healing gives us 10 health. We could save that for a bit or just drink it. I mean, we are hurt. It wouldn't max us out. Bring us back to almost what we had when we started the dungeon there after resting on the steps. So let's just drink that potion right now. That will bring us to 93 health. And for the second bag, we have 10 again for the same thing. This time the goblets are worth 45 silver pieces. We have another throwing dart, and let's see what this potion is. 6, potion of shield aura. Potion of shield aura is -1 damage taken per round in 1 whole combat. We'll hold on to that and probably sell it. Okay, we've searched this room all the way through, found the bag. Continue over to this archway and enter into the final room of the sequence. The internal snow. Somehow it is snowing in this room, which forms large mounds. From one burst and ignite. The beast charges you. You must fight. If you survive, you find 2 bodies. Roll on body search table twice. Big old monster. The Igneti is a beast that comes from a frozen region of the Lace Mountains and was trapped and released into the dungeon. It is ravenously hungry and awaits its victims in its cold halls. For maneuvers, it has a Savage Bite and a Freezing Breath. The Savage Bite is a 1-2, which will not be blocked until our Shroud Curse is in effect, and then it will be blocked by our Breastplate. The Freezing Breath is a 3-3, which will be blocked by our Metal Bracer, making that one a 2d6 plus 2. And that would be unaffected by our Shroud Curse. For interrupts, it has Rough Fur, primary 2s, 3s, and 6s, which will affect our Ferocious Strike and Twisting Stab. And it also has Broad Swipe on secondary 1s, 5s, and 6s, which does not affect anything ours. Good. It has quite a bit of hit points. Lots of XP, but no treasure. 3 shifts. We're going to start off combat by throwing a throwing axe at him. We have 2 axes, so we'll throw one of those and try to remember to retrieve it. It is a 5-2, which is not blocked by either of its interrupts, so we have a chance of finding it. That will deal 6 points of damage. Bringing him down to 76 health. Pop around 1 our turn. For swinging the sword, we have a 6-1. Well, 3 shifts will get us to a ferocious strike, but only 2 shifts will get us to a savage glance, which is not touched by its interrupts. So that's what we'll do. 1 shift there and 1 there for 2d6 plus 7. 11 points of damage. Bringing him down to 65 health. Yeti's turn for round 1. And we're going with a 6-1. Only 3 shifts. A 6-1 does not get to any maneuvers. The Yeti misses us on round 1 here. Top round 2 our turn. And a 2-1 this time. They'll take all 4 of our shifts, but we can get to a savage glance again. 3 shifts there and 1 shift here. 2d6 plus 7. Again, 11 points of damage again. Bringing him down to 54 health. Yeti's turn for round 2. With a 6-5 and 3 shifts. Still not able to make a maneuver with a 6-5. Round 3 our turn. A 6-3 for us. 1 shift will get us to a ferocious strike, which would be 2d6 plus 6. Plus 2 shifts will get us to a savage glance. Or 2d6 plus 7. 18 points of damage. Bringing him down to 36 health. Maybe that will make the Yeti mad enough to actually hit us. Yeti's turn for round 3. With a 3-6 and 3 shifts, we can change that 6 into a 3 to create a freezing breath, which will be 2d6 plus 2. 9 points of damage. Brings us to 84 health. Then we'll heal back 1 to 85. Top round 4 archer. With a 2-4. 2-4 with 5 shifts. We can make it to anything we want. But we're going with the savage glance again. 15 points of damage. Bringing him down to 21 health. Yeti's turn for round 4. 4 shifts now. A 5-4. 3 shifts for a freezing breath. It would take 5 shifts to get to the savage bite. So, freezing breath it is. 10 points of damage. Will bring us to 75 health. And we heal back our 1 point. 76. Top of round 5 our turn. Oh, when we miss. Critical miss with the 1-1. We are unable to shift out of a 1-1. Yeti's turn for round 5. That is a 4-5. Doing the same with a... Actually, it's going to be the same damage now. The Savage Bite is now blocked by our breastplate, so that is also a 2d6 plus 2. So it really doesn't matter which one we do, but we are able to make it to a Savage Bite. So let's do that for a different animation. 7 points of damage. That'll bring us to 69 health. And we heal 1 back to 70. Top round 6 our turn. And we're with a 5-4. Only 2 shifts to make that a savage glance. 14 points of damage. Bringing him down to 7 health left. Yeti's turn for round 6. Now we are 2-6. 6 shifts. Take 1 shift to make the 2-1 and 4 shifts to make the 6-2 or another savage bite. 8 points of damage. Bring us to 62. Then we heal 1 for 63 health. Going into round 7, our turn. His broad swipe interrupt will stop being effective, but that didn't block anything. Rough fur is rough fur. That interrupt continues on. And we're with a 3-1. We can spend 2 shifts to change that 3 into a 5 and 1 shift to make that 1 and 2. for a savage glance again. 16 points of damage. Savage it is, bringing him down to 0 health. Oops. And falling over. Move it. Alright, let's add that experience on to our feat. He has no treasure. And put him away, actually. We get to check our body search table twice here with a +1. First body we search has 9. Around the creature's waist is a silk sash worth 3d6 plus 30 gold pieces. Hanging from it is a throwing axe +2. Nice. Speaking of a throwing axe, we threw an axe. We should probably check and make sure we can pick that up. We want a 4, 5, or 6. And no, our axe has broken. So let's just change one of these to a +2 throwing axe. And then 3d6. A silk sash is worth 41 gold pieces. And for our second body, we got 6. And bag lies beside the body. Inside you find twigs, dancoma stems, and scarlet ortavis. Alright, we're gonna rearrange the sheet a little bit. We have some dancoma stems, so we'll make that a 2. Move the water. Typing that out, I realize I have been horribly pronouncing that word. It should be pronounced scarlet ortavis. We're gonna leave the twigs behind. Alright, so this room has 2 exits to it. Let's see what this whole dungeon looks like so far. We have our little frozen path here, and so we're doing like I wanted, making a circle. I'd like to fill in a little bit here. I don't want to just leave that wide open. So let's pop out this way. See what we can find out here. Alright, I believe I've made enough of the dungeon for now. Passing through the archway, we come into a little corridor. And passing through that archway, we step into a maze. As we're going through this maze, we run into a statue of a minotaur. Around its neck is an amulet. Roll on the amulet table. We have an amulet of poison resistance. Let's put that on. We have the ring of telekinesis already worn, so we'll add this into our notes as well. That way so you can read this. The amulet of poison resistance. Attacks and interrupts that use the word poison do not affect you, and it's permanent while it's in your possession. I'll have to make an icon for that so I don't forget. Continuing up to the single exit here, we pass through the archway into a corridor, pass through another archway into a corridor, and another archway for another corridor, and another one for a corridor here, bringing us back to our frost room. Now, we have 2 exits here, which will just link into a dead end, or just be 2 dead ends. I mean, it is a maze. We have an exit here that would come into a little dead end space. We have an exit here that potentially would connect back up with those 2. Or we go all the way back to the Yeti room to go through that door. I think we're going to fill in this little hole here. So we'll step back through to this opening. And stepping through this, we get a room that I forced into this space. I rolled 2 5s, which reduced to 3s, and then rolled 2 5s again. So the room was supposed to be 8 by 8, and I kind of forced it into here. It's more of a 8 by 5. It does connect to both of the archways that we had open, but it's also a maze room. And inside the maze, we have, standing on a plinth, there is a vial of ink. I think I already have a vial of ink, so we can just, yes, add that to our collection. 2 vials of ink. Never did figure out what I was going to do with the vials of ink, but we have it. I think we'll go back to this way here. Pass through the freezing cold room. we have another archway over this way. Let's put the sheet away so you can see what I'm talking about. So we came through the cold room here, stepped into this corridor. We do have another archway over this way, which will take through a corridor and a maze to this archway. Pass it through this little archway here. We come into a little corridor. There's an exit this way, but I went straight first. And that proved to be a little corridor that was just a dead end. You know, it's a little wider because of my walls, but it's just a 1x3. So I circled back to this corridor here and came through into a 2x2 room, or 2x3 room. This small room is a basin. There is a blue and white tiled stone basin in the wall here. It is full of clear water. It is not unique. I'm not bloodied or anything. I have some water on me. I don't really need water at the moment. I don't have anything to put more water in either. So we'll just continue on through this next archway. Alright, next couple room, all mapped out. We'll step through this archway. We enter into another small room that is the stones. There are some fallen blocks of stone here, and that's all. Super exciting. So, don't really need any more stone. So we're gonna head over through this way and work our way back towards the outer wall. And we enter into a slightly larger room. This is a 2x4 room, so it's not a small room anymore. Beneath some cobwebs, you find a tall root wood idol. You stand it up and see it is Radicina. You can reinvigorate this idol with a correct offering and please the god, gaining 2 favor points. So let's see if we can do that. Radicina. I don't think we need more favor points for her though. No, we're full on favor points, but I don't see why we can't try to wake it up. Seeds, roots, mushrooms, vegetables. We have some acorns. Oh, we do have a pearl. 1 pearl. Well, it's been a couple days. I had to ask questions, which I got responses. Before I placed the offering to bring this back to life, we're going to call on favor of Radicina, wipe out all 6 of these favor points, and we're going to ask to get our health back because everybody seemed pretty confident. You can call on the favor of a god at any point that you feel the need to. So holding favor right now to get health and then donating to reactivate her little altar there isn't really a loophole. Got that card away. And then we can do our donation. Here's our 1 pearl. So with donating the pearl and then the room itself giving us 2 favor points, that gives us 4 total back. So let's switch this card. Bring this one out. So we would get 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then that was away. Clear away the cobwebs and reinvigorate the altar. And I just noticed that this room was supposed to have curtains and I didn't put them on. So just a moment. Okay. With the curtains back on the room as they're supposed to be, we will head through this opening. Enter into another room that is 2x4. This is a crushed warrior. Lying on the floor, crushed by a block of stone, is an old warrior. His armor is buckled and rusted. You search them and find a broken item. Roll on the table, but something also triggers, so we have to roll on a trap table as we search. That is a wrecked item table. Let's see what we find there real quick before our trap goes off. That is a 5. It is a large crushed beetle. On the crushed body, there is a crushed beetle. I don't have a reason to take a crushed beetle. I don't think. We're gonna leave that behind. What do we trigger? 4. A wave of magical energy pushes from the wall and hits you hard. There's no way to avoid it. Lose HP equal to double your discipline. Ooh, 12 points of damage. 12 points of damage brings us to 88. Alright, so we have 3 doorways exiting this place. One is probably just a little dead end there. Let's connect these 2 rooms, or try to anyway. So let's go here. Check to see if it's locked. With metal doors, 4, 5, or 6 is locked. With a 3, the door is unlocked. So let's see what's beyond. Alright, we'll open this door up. Pass through a little 1x1 corridor. And then enter into a room here. It is a cloudy space. There are no exits to this room, so we'll have to double back. Dust has risen here to create clouds of white particles. You sense something is off though. You stumble through and realize you have triggered something. Roll on the trap table. You have a 10. Large spikes thrust up through the floor. Lose 4 HP. Roll a d6 and add your shift points on a 7 or lower. Lose extra 4 HP. We're losing 8 hit points. Bring us down to 80. Kind of blocking things off here. If it wasn't a maze, I would have connected these 2. But I feel we're going to get corridors, so we can get a corridor filled in there. But we're going to head back to this way. And we'll check this door and pass through it on the next episode. So thank you for staying till the end. Hope you enjoyed this part of the maze, and we'll resume here next week. Till then, have a good night. See you later. Bye for now.